Hi guys, I'm Caleb. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be watching and reacting to Youngjae's first mini album, Colors from Ars, and his music video, Vibin. Let me tell you a little bit of who Youngjae is for myself and for you to know as well. Youngjae is a member of boy group GOT7, who are under JYP Entertainment and currently probably under Warner Music or independent. I'm not very sure. Do check out my videos of Yugyeom and BamBam, who have done their comebacks this year just a few months ago, and I've reacted to their albums as well. Before joining GOT7, he actually had about 7 months of training before he was added as a main vocalist in the group. And truly, even though I only got into GOT7 towards the end of their career under JYP, namely the Call My Name era and subsequently the 2 albums Not By The Moon and also Breath of Love. Yes, so in those albums I can clearly tell JYP used him really much for the very high vocal parts and expounding on the very ballad or say high registers that he can reach. Yeah, and I think that's really good, you know, and on the other hand, he still is a good dancer. It's not that bad. Although in their music videos, typically you wouldn't see him doing like much of like solo dances, even for like camera footage where it might focus on him individually, like individual shots where they do solo shots for each member in music videos. He's not really doing much dancing, it's more of just like singing to the camera. So I think it'll be interesting to see, because with the teasers this time round for his own solo debut, because now the spotlight is on him, and it's interesting that he chose to do a more upbeat pop song instead of what I would have thought, you know, just a ballad route for him. So I'm really excited to see what, you know, he's going to bring with this album and how subsequently what's going to happen with him. After his contract with JYP, he signed an exclusive contract with Sublime Artist Agency, which also has Jackson Wang, another GOT7 member, under their label as well. And the word Ars is actually referring to his pen name when he writes lyrics and composes. In a press conference, he was saying that this title track, Vibin, is entirely co-written and produced by him. Even though this is not his first time writing songs, because he did write songs under JYP for GOT7 as well, but this time he has his hand on all the songs on his own album. He was saying that, you know, in the sense it is trying new things, taking on new challenges, and that it also at the same time allows him to reflect on his past releases being part of GOT7, and he realized that, wow, he could actually do it on his own. Another sense, it kind of also means that this album is really about his daily life, the emotions he has gone through. I think he has a lot to say as an artist, especially going through up and down with, you know, towards the end of GOT7's time with JYP. There was a lot of controversy happening between the label and them, like, you know, whether they're receiving proper support from the label. And also, even when they did leave JYP, they still stuck together as a group, which also definitely meant it was something not within them, but it was something external. Yeah, so I would like to see what kind of messages he's gonna say with this album, and also what kind of song, Vibin, you know, the track, the release itself, how is it gonna be like? Because I think, like I said with BamBam's and Yugyeom's, it's like, it is very key and monumental with their first release, because it kind of shows to the public what kind of direction they want to set out to. Of course, with every album, depends on what kind of artist. Some they can try different concepts every time, but I feel like for them being at where they are at right now, they are already established. They are at a stage where they can go directly into what they want to do, like what kind of songs, what kind of sound they want to create for themselves. It is experimental, but it's not really in the formation stage or like seeing what the audience likes. They kind of already have the autonomy to go into which specific area of genre they want to. So far, for example, for Yugyeom, like it seems like he wants more of the R&B, even with JB as well. BamBam, it's more with like jazzy pop kind of route. Of course, he did do a bit of EDM with one of his tracks. With Jackson, it's like he seems to be more targeting the English market, even Mark as well, more of like EDM, house EDM kind of track sound that he's going for. So I like to see what Youngjae has to say for himself through this album. On first impression, hearing the teasers, it seems very BamBam's debut kind of a song, like Ribbon. But I would like to give it a chance and really see. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be a copycat. He's gonna definitely have his own flavor. So can't wait to see it and enjoy a music video with me. Yeah, it's definitely more like, even though instrumentation wise it's really in the same realm of BamBam's Ribbon, but it's definitely more in terms of the melody. It fluctuates more and it suits his vocals very well. And then the high vocals come in. I like that he focuses a lot on his dancing as well, because I don't know, I really never pictured him much of as a dancer in a group. He does execute the moves, but he's not being positioned as a dancer in JYP, more of a vocalist. I like the message of the song. It's very light-hearted, fun, freedom. So far the scene sticks with this one desert area, and is this the same place where they shot ITZY's Not Shy? Looks like, you know. It's definitely a love song-ish, but it's definitely more of a light-hearted sound, which I like. I like that it's bringing through a journey, because I did say that it looks quite static. The first beginning part, which verse to chorus, was on one scene, the desert scene, and now it's transiting to this warehouse scene. But I like that there is an overall storyline to be said about this. I like the incorporation of English here. It fits well, it blends very well. And then matches with the falsetto notes. Wow, it's so good. That's very catchy. I like that the hook in the chorus, they knew what they were gonna do with this song. Like, it's literally vibing. Okay, lyrics getting a bit more fast-paced. I enjoy that. I like that with the words lighted up, he even went higher as well. When they plan out the lyrics, you can tell that there's also dedication to matching the lyrics with where the melody goes. I personally like this very like hazy look on this video, and especially as like a front for the album itself. I mean, in the ending shot with like the colored windows, it kind of does hint at what the album is also. And of course, with giving the credits to all those who participate in the video, I think in COVID-19 times, it's perfect and very suited. Yeah, I personally feel what a well done song debut. I personally like the song so much. It's light-hearted, but at the same time it also has strong vocals, especially in the verses to the chorus. Chorus is a bit more falsetto, but in the verses he really does bring in the strong vocals, and I really enjoy that about this song. And it also focuses on his dancing. I think, if I'm not wrong, like, from what I've seen, like, it's also his first foray into really like giving a dance song and having him as a spotlight on the dance song. And I believe it is a new look for him, and it works well. Like, he really does this genre well, and he can dance. He really can dance. Yeah, it's not really hard-hitting kind of like choreography, but it matches the vibe of the song. I think this is what I would call like a really perfect, well-rounded debut track. Now, let's get into the album. As I said already, he co-wrote all the tracks. I wonder if it's all going to be dance pop as well. But I mean, seeing from so far a lot of these artists who were in groups and they have solo debuts, in general they will have a mix of ballads and kind of dance pop kind of songs all in the album. And I'm probably gonna expect the same thing from him, because like I said, he's known for really like the ballad sort of music and vocals. So perhaps paying homage to his, you know, his formed image under JYP, and also maybe this new image of him being, you know, more fun and upbeat. Let's go check out the album. So this album, we have these tracks in the album track list. We have 7 songs. So firstly is Beautiful, Tasty, Vibin, which is what I just watched earlier, and Roses, Eternal, Moonlight, and Lonely. So let's get into the songs on the playlist. First with Beautiful. Okay, as the first track of the album, I like how it eases in with this, I don't know how you even term it, muffled. A lot of artists use this technique. Oh, it's really upbeat. I believe that it's also in the same realm of like love, the themes of love as well. Okay, similar to his title track, it has English as like the first line and then it followed by a Korean. And I like that mishmash of Korean and English. It's tasteful in the sense that there's purpose in it instead of like just dumping one chunk of English in. Like there's an effort to melt both languages to make it seamless but yet help the audience understand, because external non-Korean speaking people like me would definitely understand right away what the meaning of the song is. And I like it expounds on this falsetto, and it's really high register, his song so far. Oh, I like the use of strings at the background. It definitely adds to this very light-hearted feel of the song. See, like I was saying, the rhyming, yeah, 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 till the end. There is purpose even when they within English language, like them using English itself. I could imagine a music video for this. It's so visual, the writing is so visual. Okay, now we hit with Tasty. Oh, it's also still in this realm of love, but it's a bit more sensual. Literally talking about the lips, using the word baby, sweet sugar high, your heart, and love is so tasty. I think you can distinctly tell that he did have a hand with all this. Yeah, but you can tell that distinctly that he has this songwriting flair of him. Again, it goes back to me saying that how, you know, he blends in English very well into the song. It's like the you and I will be getting love song. Like it specifically choose that line to be made in English, and it rhymes well, or fits syllable-wise. It sounds like as if he's on a phone call with someone, and I think it does its effect really right, because the lyrics do make sense as well. It really is like, it's very personal. Like whoever would sing this would be like, it's definitely like you're singing it to the loved one. It's not just portraying a love story. Classic songwriting, I think. When you're able to put the audience in the POV of whoever the story that you're trying to tell. I can also imagine a good music video for this, like candy kind of environment, you know, and a bit like California Girls kind of a music video. Oh, I love the chord progressions. It adds this flair to the outro of the song, that's for sure. Okay, I'm loving all the 3 songs so far. Okay, including Vibin, of course. Now we go with Roses, which is a song right after Vibin. Let's see if it takes a turn, because the 2 songs at the start, they really do blend well in terms of like an entrance kind of a song into Vibin, right? So, I mean, I wonder if it's going to change right after Vibin, like what kind of direction is it going to go, more soft, because seeing Roses, Eternal, Moonlight, Lonely, it seems more melancholic in the title itself, so it'll be interesting to see. Very tranquil kind of atmosphere is trying to establish at the start of this song. And I appreciate that they chose with this one to have a longer instrumental at the front, so it kind of gives a gap from, let's say if I'm a listener and I'm listening from start to end, right, it would like definitely signal a different section of the album. And like I said, it's getting slower tempo wise, but I like that it contrasts with his vocals and the melody and the lyric writing, that he's more fast-paced amidst a slower tempo, so it feels more R&B-ish. And the more stripped-back instrumental allows his vocal to shine more. Again, like I said, selective choices of English in the song definitely gives it that personality or color to the song. The use of roses, perfume, feeling higher, light breeze. There's definitely with every song so far, there's like a certain kind of imagery that he's attaching to. So like for example with Tasty, it was the candy side. This one is definitely literally roses. Vibin, I think it's more of like the quality, the theme, which was more light-hearted. Beautiful definitely is like more of just like the person. And I feel like it, although it's all positive so far, it does seem more like there is a bit of a telling of a story overall. where Beautiful seems more like an initial stage, and now it gets into more like the deeper tones of the relationship. Oh, it talks about a tattoo as well, so it's definitely like commitment is brought into it, you know. It does seem like for this song it's meant like for a relationship that's a bit more than a few months in already, you know. Oh, I love that instrumental with this kind of synths, and then it's like it's increasing volume, and then it fades out. It accentuates on the dragginess of the song. Yeah, it gives it that, you know, it breaks that rhythm from what the first few songs were set out to be. There's definitely a very careful choice with the English, the use of English in his songs so far. Now we go with Eternal. Did I not call it ballad? Bring in the ballad. Come on. Oh, I like the use of guitar as well. It keeps it in line with the pop sound. Ooh, the vocal runs. He's so good at it, and this is, you know, him showing this element of it. Oh, and this is really like I said, you know, this is where it's even deeper now. Roses was a bit deep, where there are hints of commitment, and this one really goes into it, like eternal, regarding like you being with your other half forever. Oh man, this is one ballad that I would definitely download, because I think it's not like your regular OST. It works as a pop ballad as well, you know. Ooh, is it just me, or the way he sung those two lines sounded so emotional? Like I can imagine him in the studio actually really singing, like really thinking and being in that emotion. Like here now with this pre-chorus, where he's going higher and higher and higher in the register, in the key, he's like, wow. Oh, and then now he brings in a bit more of percussion. This song is more driven by Korean lyrics, but I also think this is a calculated choice, because I don't know, it gives more of a sincerity to the song. I don't know, somehow, like I feel, because it's his native language, and I'm thinking of him as an artist. This is definitely like what he would express himself better in. Oh, and the lyrics actually is, I promise you, holding your hand, I will look at only you forever, and he will sing that high note with the falsetto. Matches perfectly. Like I said, the songwriting is so good. Is it like a electric guitar at the background? I think it adds that element of like soaring melodies, right? Even though it's like the structure of the songs are so similar, but the outro is what gives it that last pack of punch, you know, before it fades out. Now we've got to the second last track, Moonlight. It definitely feels like it's picking up the pace a bit. I like this kind of the rhythm that the percussion is setting out to be. It feels more like a waltz kind of a rhythm, and it breaks the very overly melancholic feel of Eternal, and then it kind of picks up the pace a little bit for this one. And I don't know, I thought it was just gonna be really like duotone, like fast paced at the start of this album, and then now it's just everything is gonna be slow. But it's interesting that Eternal feels a step more melancholic than this song in terms of the tempo and the rhythms in the song. And also really the use of Korean for this entire song so far. The melody is really predictable, especially in the chorus, but it follows this genre of these kind of slow dancing songs that should be easier to follow in general. I mean, think of like Perfect by Ed Sheeran, right? These kind of ballad songs are definitely meant to be predictable in the melody wise, so it's, you know, it kind of gets people into the rhythm of the song more. And then they bring in the strings back for this song as well. It gives this kind of light-hearted staccato kind of feel to the song that definitely adds to the whole romantic feel of the song. And after the songs of commitment, it delves more into a personal, intrinsic kind of experience where, like, you know, he was mentioning how the mood goes up and down, you know, about how he himself yearns for the person, less of mentioning of this two-person world kind of atmosphere. So the lyrics where he sings that high notes is "We'll dance to this song," and I think it matches so well because you fall into my arms and we will dance to the song. You know, wow, it's the calculatedness of where the melody goes with the lyrics. Like I said, again and again and again, it just is perfect. No outro this time, but it fades out really well. Fits with the whole idea of this, like, Moonlight. Yeah, it doesn't need that much of a fade out actually for this one because it's already slow, it's already, you know, very tranquil, very calm, and it just needs this light end of the song. It seems like the message for the last track, it seems like I said, it goes more intrinsic. But it seems like, oh, the person broke up with the person? It's picking up more of like a rap style vocals, melody line and vocal wise and lyrics wise. So it's like post breakup kind of a message. Like, where did we go wrong? I'm alone now, and what should I do now? And then the kind of loneliness, as the title suggests, you know, that comes with the breakup. It's interesting because normally albums like, you know, with BI and BamBam, like, at least the even though it does become more intrinsic towards the end, but like it ends on a more positive note and not really like, oh, we love, and then we break up and then like this song is definitely more of like, oh, we broke up and that's it, we are gone, we are done, and I am very, you know, in a low state now, which is interesting because normally for the last songs they tend to be more of like aspirational, like a hopeful for the next album, the next release, because it's like the last message that an artist want to say through the album, right? So it seems very like downtrodden. Yeah, I would like to know the purpose behind this. I mean, let me know in the comments below if you know why it's this way. I mean, based on the information I gathered, I definitely didn't expect it to have a turn this way for the last track of the album. I would see this track probably appearing more in the middle of the album, and maybe it will end with something more positive in terms of the messaging. But I guess it follows with this whole sense of love, because it's like he's saying that you made me lonely. So I guess it's also showing how the impacts of love on individual level, even when a breakup comes, the love is so strong that it's why the loneliness feels all the more so surreal and impactful. It's because of the love that they once had. Okay, this is an interesting outro because the outros, this one has its own separate kind of color as well. It's like his last breath kind of a feel to it, like as he's sinking in the ocean or something, you know? And it's so like sad almost. I'm confused. Is it trying to show the tragedy of love? Like the downsides of being loved, like the tragicness that love could possibly end up with. Whoa, wait, hold up. I like the album, don't get me wrong. I like the album. First three tracks, really upbeat, right? My kind of song. And then it kind of goes down this path of being more intrinsic, a bit more melancholic in nature, from Roses, Eternal, Moonlight, Lonely. I like that there's so many colors in the album, even with these two distinct kind of messagings, but it does give, like, each song has its own certain quality, be it an imagery, a theme, the parts of love in a relationship. But like the last track being so like downtrodden and then like very emotional in the sense that it's like he's drowning and he's, you know, giving his last breath. It's like, wait a second, like normally it ends with a positive message. So I don't know, like it's definitely good, that it's cool that he's breaking out of that kind of tradition that normally artists would set up with their first debut album in the K-pop industry. But I don't know how it, like, I would see this track more as, like I was saying, you know, fitting in as like the fourth or fifth track. But I understand, because in the process of love, because this one is the breakup, so it definitely makes sense as the last track. Although it could do with one more track. Maybe my suggestion is that it could have one last track that could be more positive, like, oh, I'm breaking out of my loneliness, I hope for the next relationship, or I hope to make myself better or something. I don't know, like, because it seems so abrupt, like the ending in terms of the emotions, like, oh, like heightened emotions in the sense of the negativeness, and there's no closure. But maybe that's the message you wanted to do with this, like the realities of love, like I was saying, like, you know, going through a breakup, the reality of it is that sometimes you may not have closure, sometimes, you know, you're just really stuck in an emotional state. Maybe. But what? Oh wow, it's such a shocking ending in terms of emotion wise. But in terms of the sound, it makes sense because, you know, things get slower and slower and slower, and then, you know, outro fade out. But yeah, like, you can definitely tell that there's, in terms of the songwriting, there's so much attention to it, like, and I can distinctly kind of see his style, you know, his writing style, although I'm not very sure like what aspect of songwriting or in production that he had a hand in specifically, but in terms of like the overall idea and the way it's written, all these songs, I can see some kind of like clear thing, like it's very visual. The way the syllables fit with the melody is really focused on, like how the melody goes up and down, it fits with what the lyrics are showing. So on those senses, perhaps that's maybe his distinct style, and I'm really all for it. Yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think of the album and the track list in general. Like, do you feel that it could do one more song like I suggested? Because too used to having more of an inspirational, aspirational track at the end of the album, or do you think that with this deliberate choice, it sends a certain message that I'm not seeing yet? Yeah, do let me know. I'm conflicted, but in a good way. Like, I really want to know why it did what it did, you know. Overall, I really enjoyed this album. I think that, like, out of all the solo debuts from GOT7, I'm not comparing them on the sense of how enjoyable they are to me, because I feel that's too subjective. Like, I'm definitely more for, like, you know, pop songs than ballads kind of song, or R&B. Too much R&B is a bit off-putting for me. I'm definitely more like, I want upbeats, dance kind of songs. But I think in terms of the attention to detail, in terms of the writing and the musicality, the kind of technicalities when it comes to the music side of it, I feel this Youngjae's one stands out the most, especially when it comes to the album wise. None of it feels like a filler track, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's nothing wrong with tracks being filler tracks. It's just that I have really much respect for artists who really choose the tracks really wisely and write it in such a very specific way that contributes to the entire album and speaks to the audience as well. Yeah, I think that's it. I really, wow, it's a shockingly good, and also leaves me a bit of like wondering kind of an album, which is good, I think. And yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you have the same thoughts as me, or, you know, you felt everything was normal and I'm just out of my element here? But yeah, it's shockingly good, and I want to know more of why it was created this way. Yeah, I'd like to catch you on the next one. Do let me know what you want me to react to, what you want me to watch, and also listen to. I'll try as much as I can to do videos, and because I definitely enjoy listening to this music, I also enjoy seeing your comments and your own thoughts as well. So let me know, and catch you on the next one.